Hey everyone, I'm Carolyn. Welcome back to another episode of As I See It. So a question that's been on all of our minds is, will Justice Clarence Thomas suffer any consequences whatsoever for not recusing himself from a couple cases that seem to directly involve his wife? I did a whole video about the whole recusal thing last time, and I'll put it at the end in case you missed it. So I'm not going to get too much into the recusal, but basically, we now know that his wife was communicating with Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows, on January 6th through text message, and Clarence Thomas was the only justice to dissent to a decision to allow the January 6th to have access to Trump's communication records for that day. So the problem isn't what her beliefs are or the fact that she is political and involved in the big lie and even the January 6th. She's allowed to do whatever she wants. That's not the issue here. The issue here is, did Clarence Thomas not act with ethics and morality as he should have as a Supreme Court justice? Like I said last time, there is a law that says federal judges, including justices, must recuse themselves from a case if it involves a family member. And to take that a step further, some say that they are supposed to recuse themselves even if there is a hint, even if people might think that there is a conflict of interest. So given that, everybody knew his wife was involved in the Stop the Steal, right? In this lie that the election was fraudulent, right? Everybody knew that. So there's no way he can say he didn't know that. And just for appearances, just to maintain the legitimacy of the court, he should have recused himself. And that's the problem I'm having right now. We would hope that justices of the Supreme Court, that politicians for that matter, do so because they honor the tradition, they honor the Constitution, that they really feel that they can do the job justice. No pun intended. I would hope that people who do these jobs, who choose these appointments in the case of the justices, do so because they really believe 1,000% in the Constitution and want to uphold their responsibilities in that position to the best of their ability. In my opinion, as I see it, that's not what Clarence Thomas did. He acted for selfish reasons, not for reasons for the country, not for reasons of the Constitution, not for reasons that would uphold, that would stand with the responsibility of the job for which he took an oath, but for personal reasons. Whether those personal reasons were to protect his wife, he had to know. I can't believe he didn't know. So he didn't recuse himself either because he wanted to protect her or because he agreed with her and wanted to use his position to further that agenda. So what can we do? Is he going to be impeached? Are there any tools? Is there any vehicle for which we can make him be accountable for his poor choice? Maybe illegal choice? The bad news is no, not really. Sure, the House of Representatives can can do an investigation, and if the investigation finds that he broke the law, they can bring articles of impeachment, thereby impeaching him. But number one, they have to do an investigation. How can they prove intent? Same problem we're having with the former guy in the January 6th. It's really hard to prove intent. It's also going to be extremely hard to prove that he knew his wife had sent those texts that day and that he was purposely protecting her. It's going to be very difficult to prove. Let's say by some miracle of fact. They are able to prove that, and they do believe that he broke the law, or they're able to prove that he broke the law. So they do bring on articles of impeachment. Well, just like presidential impeachment, it then goes to the Senate to convict. And this is where the problem is. You only need a majority to bring articles of impeachment in the House. That's 51, right? You only need a majority. In the Senate, you need a supermajority to convict. And that's exactly why we have a two-time impeached president who was still allowed to stay in office, because we couldn't get a supermajority because Republicans were standing in party line and they wouldn't vote to convict. And that's exactly what would happen with Clarence Thomas. The House can pass articles of impeachment. It can go to the Senate. There is no way in hell they would convict. What? And give another nominee to a Democratic president? No way. You know, you've seen everything they've done, the somersaults that Mitch McConnell has done over the last several years to ensure that no Democratic president gets Supreme Court nominee picks. There's no way. I think Clarence Thomas could literally shoot somebody on TV in public and the Senate wouldn't vote to convict, to impeach. So I'm sorry, I don't think it's going to happen. What can happen then? Well, Chief Justice Roberts is really the only person, the only entity that can make him, hold him accountable. And there really isn't much they can do after the fact. What he can do is say, okay, we have a code of conduct now. The Supreme Court must abide by a code of ethics and a code of conduct. Therefore, Justice Thomas, you can no longer sit on any case that involves January 6th or the election. He can kind of make him through like punishment within the court, like giving him bad cases, like assigning him things that he doesn't want to do, like, you know, the low-level cases. I mean, it's not much, really, especially if he is in the same mindset as his wife, and he believes that he's saving the country. So what he has to sit on a couple bad cases, it might not be enough. But that's it. The other thing, so that's it. That's all we can do right now for the alleged misconduct of Justice Thomas. The good news is there is something we can do moving forward. Congress can pass legislation to hold the Supreme Court to a set of standards, a rule of conduct, rule of ethics. That's up to Congress. Congress can do that. So here is what we can do. Contact all of your elected officials in the House and in the Senate and demand that they pass legislation to hold the Supreme Court more accountable for their actions, that they are held to a code of conduct and a code of ethics. That's what we can do so that moving forward, justices who even have the appearance of a bias or an ethical issue for a case will be required by law, if the Congress passes this, to recuse themselves, and if they don't, there will be consequences. See, this lifetime appointment to the Supreme Court has a caveat. Article 3 says that Supreme Court justices are appointed for a lifetime as long as they demonstrate good behavior, right? So when they don't demonstrate good behavior, when they break the law, when they do things that aren't moral and ethical, there is impeachment. They can be impeached. Very difficult to do. Very difficult to do, and probably impossible. So that's where we're at. Another guy in power getting away with it, at the very least, misconduct, maybe with breaking the law, but we don't know. That's where we're at. It's unfortunate, but put pressure on your elected officials. All right, leave your thoughts below. Thank you very much for watching. Join me tomorrow, Saturday, April 2nd at 2:15 p.m. Pacific, 5:15 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to be live talking politics and current events and whatever you guys want to talk about. So be sure to subscribe to my channel, click the bell for notifications so that you can be notified when I go live, and I'll see y'all soon. Thanks for watching.